everyone, and welcome to this time lapse. Today we've got Destiny. I decided to do this master copy of John William Waterhouse because a Patreon had requested it. And of course I jumped to it because it's absolutely beautiful. I actually didn't know this piece. I know obviously the Lady of Shalott is really, really famous, and as well as Cersei, but I hadn't ever actually seen Destiny. So it was so wonderful to be introduced to a work of John William Waterhouse's that I hadn't actually seen before. Now, this piece in real life is really large. I think it's about 58 centimeters by 68 centimeters. I'm not painting that big. I'm going much smaller. This is only 25 by 26 centimeters. And as you can see, the image, well, maybe you can't or you don't know, but this image has actually been cropped. The original, you can see a sash, you can see the bottom of the book, and she's actually wearing a sash around her hips. But for the purposes of the Patreon demo, it was easier to crop and also to film on a smaller scale. It just makes that much easier. The paper, I'm working on pastel matte paper, and it's the anthracite colorway. Starting off as normal with the background. So you've got those beautiful Italian style columns that look like shimmering gold, and I created that effect using a mixture of Unison Sennelier and also some pastel pencils from Caran d'Ache. While I was doing this in between pasteling, I was having a little look on the internet and going through some of my art books. I've got quite a few art books on like Victorian painters, and there's just very little on John William Waterhouse. So in my personal art library, I've got this massive Victorian book on painters, and there's one sentence in the 400 pages about John William Waterhouse. That's it. Apparently he was a very private man, and he never left any journals or anything like that, so there's not that much information on him. I've also had a look on Amazon seeing what books I can buy, and there just really doesn't seem to be that much around at the moment. So please, if you've got any suggestions, if you could leave them in the comments below, that'd be really helpful. I was curious to know, just a little bit more about him. I know he was married to a lady called Esther Waterhouse, and he used her in quite a few of his paintings, as well as his sister Jessie Waterhouse, and also his half-sister Mary. And I found out this little bit of information from here on YouTube, from, what was it called, Waterhouse Art. They've got only about 6 or 7 videos up, but there was a little bit of information. So you can go check out that channel and have a little read through of what they've put up there. But yeah, this was painted in the year 1900, and it was created for the Artists' War Fund, which was to help the widows with their husbands that had gone off to fight in the Boer War. It was interesting for me to hear about that because I'm South African, obviously, and the Boer War happened, well, in South Africa. So it was quite cool to have that sort of connection, I guess. Quite a bit in this painting, you can see little spatterings of what I presume is viridian green. I could be completely wrong. Like I said, I can't find any information on the types of pigments or what pigments he used. I presume he would have been using what a lot of the other Victorian artists at the time would be using, but there's nothing specific about his processes that I can find or anything like that. Anyway, the original Destiny, she was painted with oil paints. I am using soft pastel. So the biggest difference I could see was, obviously there was no brush strokes. You can see a lot of his brush work in the details of Destiny, where mine is a lot more soft focus, very soft, which is very typical of my style. So if I had painted on a rougher sanded surface, something like UArt or Tim Fisher or Lux Archival, and I didn't rub so much of the pigment in, which is how I typically work, I could get some pastel strokes in there that would probably come through. But I was happy with the overall finished piece. Like I said, the main difference was the actual texture of the painting. Her face, my face is very different to his. I didn't get the same likeness as what we can see in The Lady in Destiny, but I was okay with that because I was working on a really small scale here. Her face is what, like probably 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, something like that. And I was happy with the outcome. She didn't look like a monster or anything like that. So overall, I was happy, but it was just so wonderful to just get to be able to copy one of the greatest painters that ever lived piece. And I loved how he just used, like I said, it was probably Viridian, but I'm not too sure, in every little aspect. Not so much in the dress, but he probably used Viridian, in the shadows. But maybe he didn't. I don't know, because I can't find any information. There hasn't been any analysis, or I can't find anything on the internet where his painting, this particular painting, has been analyzed to see what kind of pigments he used. But yeah, it really was something quite special. And I definitely will be doing more master copies. I got my eye on Laura Coombs Hills, who actually used pastel. So that will be coming next. That's definitely in the pipeline. But like I said, I really wish there was more information on him, his processes, and his personal life. I know he was born in Rome to British parents who were both artists themselves. So just presuming, he obviously grew up in a culture of art. And I presume from a young age, he was around this if both his parents were artists. But anyway, I can't find any information. Like I said, if you know of a brilliant book or a website or a blog, please do leave a comment below. That'd be really, really much appreciated. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.